Arrest him right now, my sister Ashley said, pointing straight at my little boy like he was some dangerous criminal. Her voice stayed eerily calm, too calm. The officer froze for a second. Ma'am, he's only a child. He stole my diamond bracelet, she cut in sharply. It's worth $20,000. Check his backpack. Do it. I stood on the edge of the front porch in our quiet Columbus, Ohio neighborhood, gripping my purse so hard my knuckles went white. My son Noah, just 9 years old, was sobbing and shaking his head. Mom, I didn't take anything, I promise, he whispered through tears. The two officers looked sick about what they had to do, but they followed her orders. The younger one knelt down, nervously unzipped Noah's small Avengers backpack, and there it was, gleaming under the porch light, a diamond bracelet that had definitely not been there an hour earlier. No, I gasped. That was planted. Ashley crossed her arms and smirked. Looks like someone raised a little thief. Behind her, my parents stood in the doorway of their house on Maple Street, watching everything unfold. Not one word of defense for their own grandson. Not a single syllable. Then came the sound I'll never forget. Cold metal handcuffs snapping around my baby's tiny wrists. Noah turned to me, tears pouring down his cheeks. Mommy, I swear I didn't do it. I know, sweetheart. I whispered, my voice breaking. I know. As the police cruiser pulled away from the curb, I stared at my sister. Why? She flipped her hair and smiled. Because you've always acted like you're better than me, Lauren. Now you're not. In that moment, something inside me shattered, and something new, icy and unstoppable, took its place. My name is Lauren Brooks. I'm 29 years old. And that was the day I stopped being the nice sister forever. As soon as the car vanished around the corner, my parents turned and walked back inside like nothing had happened. Mom! I shouted. You just let them put handcuffs on your grandson. My mother sighed, clearly annoyed. Lauren, your sister wouldn't make something like this up. Maybe Noah just made a mistake. A mistake? That's what they call terrorizing a terrified 9-year-old and dragging him away in a police car? My dad muttered. We'll fix it quietly. No need to make a scene. I let out a bitter laugh. A scene? You just stood there while your grandson got arrested because of a lie. Ashley stood there, arms folded, wearing that same smug little smile she always pulled out when she thought she'd won. Face it, Lauren, she said sweetly. You've always been the hot mess of this family. Guess the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. My hands shook with rage, but my voice stayed steady. You planted that bracelet. Her eyes sparkled with victory. Prove it. She turned, humming, and strolled back into the house like she hadn't just ruined a child's life. Mom followed, whispering over her shoulder. Don't make this worse than it already is. That night, I sat alone in my car outside the police station in downtown Columbus. My little boy was inside, scared and crying, and they wouldn't let me see him yet. But every smirk, every word, every triumphant glance from my sister replayed in my mind on an endless loop. She thought she'd broken me. She had no idea she'd just woken me up. By morning, the tears were gone. The plan had begun. Noah was finally released to me once they confirmed he was only 9, but the damage was already done. The whispers at school. The local news headlines. The sideways looks that branded him the thief's son. I watched him sleep on the couch that night, red marks still circling his little wrists, and something inside me turned to steel. This wasn't about a bracelet anymore. This was about power. Ashley's favorite weapon. Over the next day, I quietly collected everything. Old screenshots, drunk text messages she'd sent at family parties, bank records, the fake charity she ran, the business trips that were really romantic weekends with her married boss. By nightfall, I held a thick folder that practically burned in my hands. Then I dialed a number I hadn't called in 5 years. Detective Harris, the familiar tired voice answered. Detective, it's Lauren Brooks. I have something you're going to want to see. It's about the Carter Family Foundation and a $20,000 bracelet that was never actually stolen. Silence. Then, bring it in tomorrow. When I hung up, I looked over at Noah sleeping peacefully and whispered, this time baby mommy's fighting back. The next morning, Detective Harris met me in a dim room at the precinct. He looked older, worn down by the job, but the second I slid that heavy folder across the table, his eyes sharpened. Every fake invoice, every hidden transfer, Every dollar she's stolen from her own charity for the last 3 years, I said. Millions. And that bracelet. She planted it. She used your department to humiliate a child. He flipped through page after page, his jaw tightening. If this checks out, we're talking felony fraud, conspiracy, filing a false police report. Then make it check out, I said quietly. And make sure she never gets to use police officers as her personal hitmen again. He nodded slowly. I'll start the investigation today. Stay quiet for now. I gave him the same cool smile Ashley loved to wear. Quiet is my new specialty. As I left the station, I spotted her silver BMW parked across the street, the one she bought with money meant for sick kids. She was inside, laughing on the phone, sipping her $4 latte, completely clueless. She wouldn't be laughing for long. 72 hours later, everything she'd built started crashing down. Detective Harris's team moved fast. Bank accounts frozen. Donors contacted. Fake sponsors exposed. At home, Noah sat by the window, drawing circles in the fog on the glass. Mom, he asked softly, did I do something wrong? I knelt beside him and smoothed his hair. No, baby. The grown-ups did. That night I wrote the final email. Subject line: The truth about the Carter Family Foundation. Attachments: spreadsheets, audio recordings, photos, proof. Scheduled send. Monday 8 a.m. sharp. To every reporter, board member and donor in the state. At 8:02 a.m. my phone exploded. By 8:10 the story was everywhere. Local charity director accused of multi-million-dollar fraud scheme. I drank my coffee in total silence while my sister's perfectly made-up face filled every screen in America. At 8:27 a.m. my mother called screaming, Lauren, what have you done? I watched rain slide down the kitchen window. I didn't do anything, Mom. I just turned on the lights. By noon the foundation was dead. Accounts frozen. Board members fleeing. Reporters camped outside her mansion in the suburbs. And then, because she still had the nerve, she called me. You think this makes you better than me? She screamed. You destroyed your own family. I waited a beat. Then very calmly. You destroyed everything the second you put handcuffs on my son. It was just supposed to scare him, she shrieked. Not all this. Not handcuff him. Not traumatize him. Not make him feel worthless because his mom doesn't drive a BMW. Silence. Listen to me very carefully, Ashley, I said, ice in my veins. You always thought Mom and Dad could protect you. Newsflash, they can't protect you from the law. And they sure can't protect you from me. I hung up. For the first time in years I felt peace. Noah peeked around the corner. Mommy, are you okay? I smiled, a real one this time. Yeah, baby. We both are. The next days played out like a movie. Investigators confirmed she'd stolen $4.3 million. Offshore accounts. Forged documents. My parents blew up my phone with messages about family loyalty. I never replied. When detectives showed up at their door to question Ashley, my mom called sobbing. She's your sister. I answered. Tell that to the 9-year-old you watched get handcuffed. You called it discipline. I call it betrayal. Click. A week later, Detective Harris texted. She confessed. You and Noah won't have to testify. I read it twice, set the phone down, and breathed like really breathed. For the first time in months. That night, Noah asked, Mom, can we make chocolate chip cookies? I laughed through happy tears. Absolutely, baby. Let's make the gooey kind. The trial came and went. Ashley took a plea deal, 5 years in prison. Her husband lost his job and his teaching license for helping cover it up. My parents' names appeared in the paper as the parents who looked the other way. Silence finally fell over the Carter family. Not the proud kind. The ashamed kind. 1 month later, I brought Noah back to the same police station. This time as visitors. Detective Harris knelt down to Noah's level. Hey buddy. Heard you're killing it in 4th grade. Noah grinned shyly. Mom helps me with homework every night. Harris looked up at me and nodded. And you helped deliver real justice. As we walked out into the bright Ohio sunshine, the air felt different, lighter, cleaner. I used to think peace was something you waited for, something you begged the world to give you. That day I learned the truth. Peace is something you fight for, one brick, one truth, one boundary at a time. Some battles destroy you. Others set you free. And once you stop protecting the people who hurt you and the people you love, you finally discover what real peace feels like.